So let me get this straight. You do dress like a bat, like an actual bat.
Worked for 20 years in Gotham.
Oh, that shithole.
If the fight comes, we'll need you.
Don't count on it, Batman.
Nice, brah.
Oh, brah.
Bruh,
That's so
Nice,
nice.
brah.
bruh, guys, we're superheroes. Bruh, you and me, all of us.
That perfectly
That's the
condenses
movie.
the Snyderverse into a single sentence. We're superheroes, brah.
But bruh, did you know? No way,
Bruh,
bruh.
did you even know, brah?
Whoa.
Do you see this S, brah?
Dude, you're like,
Dude, nobody's
you're
gonna-
too powerful. Okay, sorry, that's a bit. Sweep of the bit.
All right, you ready to start?
Yeah.
We started. This is it.
Oh no.
Oh, this is it. Oh, well then. Hey, Tom.
Oh, Jeff.
Tom, you're never gonna guess what time it is right now.
Oh man, I'm tempted to because of what what this is, what this episode is.
You could try. You could try to
Oh
guess.
shit!
Try.
Is it time?
Try.
Is it time for us to watch the fucking Snyder Cut?
It's time for another episode of Tom and Jeff Watch Batman. And we are so excited. We are starting our 4-part coverage of the Snyder Cut, and we have our first guest. And this is a free episode, so this episode is going to go across the internets. There is no paywall here, and we are so very excited to have our guest on. Tom, who do we got?
I don't know, Maggie. Who are you?
I don't know, Tom. How do we know each other? This is where. Oh, straining. Oh yeah, that's right. I came to you when I needed you to join my team, but you were underwater. And a lot of your people started singing a song, but that really kicked off our friendship. That's all I remember.
That lady was really into singing a song to my sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah, smelling that sweet fish stank.
Hi. I am Maggie, and I am so excited that you guys asked me, but also, I'm just excited to chat with you guys about this movie.
Man.
So
you guys
excited to
you guys
have.
are the Batman fans. So
Oh,
it's
a dubious distinction.
Yeah,
It
take
is
that,
true.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, really though. I would put you guys above him.
In all forms.
Absolutely.
we're better
Actors,
filmmakers.
writers, directors.
We-
You
we're-
haven't done it, but I'm sure it'd be better than.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. We're much wealthier than him.
That is true.
I've made way more feature films for Universal than Kevin Smith.
I've deeper Rolodex of celebrity friends, of course,
You
and
do.
and a silent rivalry with Bruce Willis, or a one-sided rivalry with Bruce Willis.
Well, there you go.
So we are doing the Snyder Cut. We are covering the first 2 chapters of the Snyder Cut. Chapter 1. You can hear me going through my tome of notes here.
It's Zack Snyder's Justice League, Jeff. You want to put some respect on that title?
Yeah, could you drop some of the sarcasm in your verbiage?
I'm gonna add. I cannot.
No,
I cannot.
You
take
will
this-
not.
this-
I will not, and I can't.
Yeah, you started to say that. You're like, I will edit this. I was like, you're going to do what now?
There won't be any editing in this podcast, nor was there any in the 4-hour cut. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. Okay.
So our movie starts right where Batman versus Superman is ending. Actually, it's overlapping because Zack Snyder fucking loves doing that. He loves being like, here's what happened at the 9/10 mark of my last movie.
It's like poetry, Jeff. It rhymes.
Yes, precisely. In every single Greek poem, the first quarter of the poem is it reciting another poem first, as everyone knows. So he was
Classic.
Classic. It's Greek. It's Greek. You wouldn't get it.
It's very true. It's all Greek to me in that situation. Now, he is screaming his goddamn fool head off, and I'm trying to understand the physics of the scream.
Just for so long. It's like pulsing out in rings. Like, does he scream in waves?
And also, there's people nearby that are, hearing it, and their heads would explode.
Yeah, their eardrums would, pop. in their
because
head.
he's screaming, and it's like crossing the world. Like they hear that shit in Atlantis.
Yeah.
And then and it also it
We get to
wakes
see
up
all the Atlanteans go like.
Yeah.
because we must discuss at some point that they all click and whistle like whales in this movie.
They sure do, which means Atlanteans tend to be bilingual, which is nice.
That is nice.
So the scream goes everywhere. It like wakes up Cyborg and the mother box that he has in his fucking closet.
Just on the floor of his closet, next
We
to his
have
fucking skateboard.
They just have a doomsday engine next to like Monopoly.
Yep, past the pigs and the
Old
doomsday
tennis
machine.
racket.
Which I was only going to say, I didn't realize until after I watched the entire movie, when I was rereading the Wikipedia article, that it was just the scream that woke up the mother box. I had assumed that there was something else to it, but yeah,
Nope,
he
just
screamed so loud. He just popped
Yeah,
in.
it was like the death of Superman or something. They say it at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me, and they're gonna touch on this again, that like the death of the Kryptonian is the thing that starts the invasion, but like he's only been there for like 28 years.
Yeah. There was so many years before, and also so many other Kryptonians who died. His whole entire people has been massacred.
Yeah, the mother boxes must have gone crazy when Krypton exploded.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mother boxes are blowing up Darkseid's phone, but he's got it on silent so he didn't hear it.
I thought I played the Monopoly box.
found the anti-life equation. I should have put this on vibrate.
God damn it. It also hits Lex in the Kryptonian ship, and he's looking at a hologram of Steppenwolf and the mother boxes, and one of them is like activated, and I'm like, this is important. It's so important they put this in here.
I think that was to cover his ass and explain why the hell Lex knows anything about Darkseid in the after credits scene of Batman v Superman.
He sure does. He sure does. It hits Atlantis, and Mara is at the mother box, which is kind of like waking up too, which is interesting how sound, like, I can't stress to you enough the physics of this Superman death whale. Because it pulses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a repeating signal rather than like one forceful noise that's just radiating outwards.
It is also
So he has to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Wait.
Oh, I was just gonna say he has to be screaming like whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, like he's on the goddamn teacups. I picture him being on like a really intense roller coaster.
Yeah, or
like not even an intense roller coaster.
Descending the levels of hell, and each is a new yell.
It's just him going, ouch, ouch. He's getting a big ouchie. When it hits the mascara, that's where it gets crazy, because the mother box cracks open, and that's how they work. They work by exploding themselves open, which is fascinating to me.
Yeah, like little self-destruct boxes. It is also
And-
interesting that, especially with the Superman, we hardly. Oh wait.
Ooh,
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I think mine made a weird noise.
there we
Okay.
go.
I was just saying it's so interesting because spoiler alert, later we do see him, use his freeze vision, but with this Superman, we hardly get to see him use his like fun, funky, offbeat powers, and yet we start this movie out with, a giant scream that seems to, have magical powers of its own.
It really makes you wonder when he's like screaming for Lois, how that would have worked.
Yeah.
When you see him, because he's screaming, it's like, I think in Man of Steel, he screams a lot, and there's no like banshee shit going on there. It's only so now it hits the mascara, and like everybody else is really unprepared. The fucking humans box is in a goddamn closet. Meanwhile, it hits the mascara, and these ladies are fucking ready for it. There are
we have to talk about the. I mean, okay, this is as good a point as any. But like the Amazons in Themyscira appear to be the only people on the planet that took this shit seriously.
Yes.
Yeah. The Atlanteans were like, well, we're in the sea now. Like, what are they going to do?
What's they going to do?
Swim?
Breathe underwater? I don't know. They came from space, asshole.
Yeah. I bet they have a way to breathe and shit.
Yeah.
So it cracks open, and then a character that the theory is that it's Nubia, but it doesn't really matter because it's fucking over. Just goes, alert the queen. So then it cuts to like the actual start of the movie, which is Bruce in fucking like Norway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is after like 6 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
Superman screams in slow motion for 6 minutes. You could reduce the runtime of this film by probably 30 minutes if you cut out all of the slow motion. Oh, well, just the slow motion. Yeah, there's so much slow motion in this movie.
I think it's I think I saw today it was 10% of the movie is in slow motion.
I did, I saw that. It was like an IGN piece, I think. But yeah, they actually sat down and calculated how much time of the film is spent in slow motion, and I saw that. I was like, fuck, that was a good idea. I should have done that.
How much did it have to suck for the dude that had to fucking like hit the stopwatch every time slow motion hit?
Oh my god! All right.
Just like you just picture some guy looking like a high school track coach holding up one of those fucking plastic stopwatches, clicking on it every time something happens.
That's also. I also want to point out that this has been brought to my attention that in the previous Snyder iterations of the DCEU, he refrained from using slow motion. So it feels like he kind of just saved it all for this one movie.
Well, it's funny because he probably got burnt out on it with Between 300 and Watchmen.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of it. So then he kind of like steered clear of it a little bit. And then in this one, he's just like, well, I don't know when I'll ever get a chance to make a movie again. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's slow it all down.
I love that he still doesn't. Well, I guess the mother boxes get explained a bit more in this cut of the movie, but they're still like really just kind of thrown into our laps.
It is.
I'm going to be honest here. This goes through all the trouble of like Age of Ultron of trying to explain how all the science works with none of the actual explanation.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting way of like them explaining it, and I'm watching it being like, but that doesn't actually make sense.
Right, like they spend a lot of time on Batman's laser-proof gauntlets for one like throwaway sequence, and then they just won't explain other things.
Okay, so
all right,
Bruce
we are 6 minutes into this 4-hour movie.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So Bruce climbs. He's doing some shit on a horse. Climbs down to this shitty village, and we get the card. Snyder Cut Part 1. Don't count on it, Batman. It has a very silent film card
and
vibe
it
to it.
Demands to be read like that too.
Don't count on it, Batman.
Don't count on it, Batman. Part 1.
23 Skidoo. Get out of here.
Check in on the Cape Crusader and see what he's doing up in Norway. Looks like he's a Texan fisherman trying to find Aquaman. Let's see what happens.
So the village king, I don't know who's in charge. I don't know who's in charge of the village, but there's like a
It's
king.
that old guy, right? That king
Yes.
that they're talking to.
And he and Arthur are just speaking about how like Bruce got there and how it was impossible, and Bruce is like, I'm looking for the Aquaman. And then he's like, oh, he comes on the king tide with fish when the people are hungry. And it is, and I can't stress this enough, so obviously him. Like, it's to the point where Bruce is talking, he's like, I've heard about this man. And there's everybody there looks like an albino. And then there's just this one 6'5" Hawaiian dude with ice blue eyes.
Right.
Just hanging.
There's like one bronze demigod in that room. It's like, I bet that's him.
Is that
might
him?
be the guy.
Yeah. Could it be?
I'm guessing there's not a lot of big kahuna Norwegians running around. So.
There's not. No.
So I'm guessing I couldn't help but notice you're covered in tribal tattoos.
Right. There is precisely one dude in this room that looks like a metahuman.
And he's like, oh, I think he comes in. He's like, oh, look outside. There's icebergs in the harbor. And he's like, he didn't come by ship. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know I'm talking about Aquaman. Cut the shit.
It's really funny that Bruce is like trying to be coy about it and like play along, and he should just be like, look, man, it's a guy that swims in here. He's clearly you. I just need to talk to you.
Clearly you.
What's the deal with this theater? And we're doing pub theater right now? Get the fuck out of here.
I assume it's the only narrative reason I can come up with for this, which is, I don't know, like Zack Snyder. Maggie, you've done a whole video on his movies, but like Zack Snyder is like 30% film school student and 70% bro. So it's legit hard to tell, like, because sometimes you'll be like, I don't know if I'm doing the movie's work for it, because sometimes he really does intend for these things to be here. And other times it's just like, well, that looks awesome, so I'm putting that in.
It really is. It's almost like throwing a dart at a board, whether, it's something that was very intentional or something very accidental. Hearing him talk about his own work is fascinating.
Admittedly, yes. That's worth the price of his Blu-rays alone, is seeing him talk about them.
Now, there's something very funny, too, about the fact that we have another scene with the pub later on.
Me too.
Like he's obsessed with this pub, and like that second scene doesn't really do anything.
Yeah,
it's just just a scene tying him in between scenes. It's something you would cut out.
And yet it didn't get cut out in both versions, which I find fascinating.
They spliced them together. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They combined these two scenes to make the one scene. But the reason I brought that up about Zack Snyder is I was going to say maybe the narrative justification for this part of the movie is Bruce is not 100% sure whether he's like openly Aquaman with this vision, with this village. So maybe he's just trying not to out him.
I think that at this point in time, we should understand here that Bruce is like, maybe he's playing with the theater of it, but at the same time, there's got to be a point where he's like, come on, man, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, everybody knows it's you. Look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Arthur demands like $5,000. He's like, you're gonna need $5,000 to get something like that, and he's like, I'll give you $25 to talk to him now. And then they get pissed about it.
They do.
They get like he thinks we're children. He thinks we're stupid. We're dumb. And it's like, no, nobody. That's not what it is. Like. You guys still trying to protect the secret? He's already told you that he knows that the secret is done. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You get it. So we get how that is going. Now, Aquaman is not a fan of Bruce.
No, I imagine he's probably hanging out in this ice-locked village in Norway because he doesn't really want to deal with anyone.
When we started,
he really plays off as a misanthrope, even though there's like, it's overdone. He's like a shitty teen.
It's easy to it feels less. I don't know. There's aspects of it that feel less out of nowhere since we've already been able to see the whole Aquaman movie.
I mean, because even in the whole, because this still takes place before Aquaman, which is very funny to me that they have to like tie it all back together, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? And like Aquaman, he's like, I don't like you digging in my business. And he's like, he's like, look, man, I'm not here to like get a photo. The world is about to fall apart, and we kind of need you. You seem like a guy that could take care of some swimming stuff. Maybe you wanna.
Yeah, he's too busy. He's too busy littering. He litters a lot in this movie.
He
really
litters
does,
in the sea, and then gets mad at people for littering in the sea.
Yeah.
It's the Atlantean equivalent of like picking on somebody else's brother, and they're like, no, you can't do that. Only I can do that.
Yeah, it's my ocean. Only I can throw bottles into it.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm a loner, and he's like, Superman died fighting next to me. We owe it to him. And Arthur fairly says, I don't know anybody's shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Fuck are you just because you spent weeks planning Superman's murder and now you feel bad about it? I don't understand why that involves me at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, could you imagine if somebody came up to you and was like, I need $1,000, and you're like, I'm not going to give you $1,000, and they're like, no, you don't understand. My cousin Larry died next to me. We owe him that you give me this $1,000. And it's like, that's
don't you understand the gravity for me to have your $1,000?
Like, the logic is so broken. And so he goes into the water, and then there is apparently just a chorus of Norwegian women.
Yeah.
That sing a stupid... This song, I clocked it, 40 minutes long.
It's a real Hobbit singing about the dishes song.
Yeah, oh my God, it is.
I was like, I honestly genuinely think that this was just like, oh, so he just doesn't edit. There's no editing.
Yeah, this movie doesn't leave anything out, for better and for worse. He included absolutely everything.
Yeah.
I was
like, for example,
I was with a director friend, and they were like, this movie is, when after you filmed your movie and they just like lay out every single scene for you to watch, and you're like, okay, great, we got something here, let's get to work. But then they just didn't do any of the editing after.
Snyder was just like, all right, cut it, print it, let's go.
That's the movie.
So then the main woman of the chorus just picks up his cable knit sweater and just like starts smelling it, and that's gotta smell awful.
Yeah, no, there's no way it smells good.
It has to smell like just like an old diaper full of shrimp. Like there's no like he doesn't look like a deodorant kind of guy,
No, hell no.
And he's
Why
just
would he
been
be?
like,
He's like, I don't need deodorant. I've got the ocean.
Yeah. It's like those people in the summertime that go swimming instead of bathing, and you're just like, that's not gonna be the right answer.
It's fine. I'll just jump in the. I'll just jump in the pool. That's. Yeah,
I'll
that's
just
not
jump
how
in
that works.
our above ground pool full of
Okay.
chemicals. All right, man. If that's what you think is getting washed, this is better than nothing. So now it cuts to, there's just like this middle scene there's a scene that's like maybe a minute long where Martha Kent's in a U-Haul at her entire family's grave. And then she just gets in her car and then drives away because the house was foreclosed upon.
Man.
That happened very quickly too. I mean,
It did.
they try to kind of back it up. There's a scene later where she says to Lois, or it's like, well, I didn't tell anybody, so that's why you and Clark didn't know. Because it's really like, man, was she in that dire of straits? Because Superman's been dead for like a week.
Yeah.
So
just
Clark was like
helped her.
really not helping her out, making those payments.
She bought her house on margin and up against the futures of Superman, and so you can understand when Superman futures collapsed.
That's rough.
It really seemed like a sure thing. Yeah.
It was her and like one other guy.
Somebody in Vegas got a huge windfall when Superman died.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that was like the kind of bets that were being placed. Is Superman gonna die this year?
Yeah, when Snyder's like, this is like, if it was in the real world, like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see. The gross stuff that would be happening if Superman was real.
The Bruce is like, he leaves. Basically, there's a scene where him and Alfred is like, perhaps we can get the king tied in a warmer place. And he's like, I don't have time for this shit. The world, again, and I can't stress this enough, is about to die. And then he goes, maybe a man who broods in a cave for a living isn't cut out to be a recruiter. And it's like, hey, Alfred, he doesn't do the Batman thing for a living.
Yeah.
This
isn't paying the bills, Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred, he's a businessman.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
He is a billionaire businessman.
The fuck
for
are
a
you talking
living.
about, Alfred?
Yeah, this is a and by the way, billionaire businessmen tend to be good at recruiting.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons as Alfred is a really real sticking point in this series, because most of these actors I like, but that one I just
I'm into it.
He's a great
really?
performer, but
Yeah.
the amount of shit talking that he engages in with Bruce.
That is true. Yeah. That's true.
And I'm always just like, what are you doing, man? Like, all right, go ahead, talk more shit. So then it cuts to Metropolis. Lois is getting coffee for the Superman Memorial Cop, who must really be unnerved by her.
She's probably there a lot.
He's like, man, this chick's like
it's clear she's there every morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got to be like, were you fucking that guy?
Wait, we fucking... It seems like you might have been fucking him. You're here a lot.
Seems like you might have been, and that's fine. I'm just asking.
If you had a thing, I mean, that's nice to know. It's nice to know.
Yeah, it kind of seems like you, a reporter, seem to be here every day. I noticed you got a wedding ring on. That's weird. A little weird. You keep visiting this dead guy, and you bring me coffee.
Yeah.
And also, I never have a day off, apparently, because I'm there every day.
Every single fucking day I'm out here.
And then we see a cut to the very confusing cut, because now we see the big black and silver S flag on a bridge, which is nice that they predicted what his costume would end up being. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wait, where are we? And then it turns out we're in London. Good for us, because now we have the Wonder Woman robbery scene that is just a little different in a very glaring way from the version that Joss Whedon gave us.
Yeah.
There's so much more murder.
There really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the part where Wonder Woman shows her whole ass in this scene, because these terrorists show up to, I don't know, a building. It's a bank. It's a justice building. It's somewhere kids are on a field trip. I don't know what the fuck it is. I don't know what it is, except she's standing on top of what looks like a justice statue, like a literal statue of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's just standing out. And basically, these terrorists, they're a reactionary group that's trying to send America back to the Stone Age. They saw Fight Club and they bought in. They were like, yeah, let's do the Project Mayhem thing. It's not going to go well for them.
Their leader, Roose Bolton.
Oh, let me tell you.
The Roose is loose.
The Roose is loose. It doesn't go well for him. He gets exploded, but we'll talk about that in a second. Wonder Woman lassos one of the dudes to ask him. She's like, who are you? And then he kind of looks at her and she goes, the lasso compels you to tell the truth. And it's like, is that how you turn it on or something? Do you have to tell him about your lasso?
It seems like they kind of do. Every time they use it, doesn't she always say like the lasso of Hestia or whatever compels you?
Is that the magic word? Is that her abracadabra?
I guess.
Yeah, I was confused that, yeah.
Truthicus. And then she just seemed unnecessary, but whatever. They have no demand, so just stalling the police until the bomb blows up 4 blocks. Great. Wonder Woman does a kicking ass scene that is great. The bullet blocking is fantastic, although it totally makes the Flash scenes later seem kind of pointless.
Right, if she can already move that fast. Mm-hmm. It's like, what do we need the Flash for?
Yeah, and then doubly over when they resurrect Superman, because it's two people who are at least as fast as you.
Everybody gets a slow-mo scene in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like Batman on the horse, just really slow.
Luxuriously galloping in slow motion.
At one point, Wonder Woman makes it a point to take a man, throw him one direction, catch him, and then throw him in the completely opposite direction, shot-putting his brains into the wall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's demonstrating a very important lesson to all these school children.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you're a god, you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like Diana.
No, it's literally a giant smear in the wall when the guy falls down, and I was like, that seemed a bit egregious.
That won't be the only time you say that in this film.
Like, yeah. No. This is it. He got it all out in the beginning.
Yeah, he worked through some stuff in the very beginning, but
right.
we're all set.
From here on out, it's... Whew.
But
it's gravy,
it's
baby.
very interesting.
It's gravy.
It's
soupy gravy.
You're trying to dissect what lesson she's trying to impart during this, because there's children in front of her, and she's just committing a brutal murder.
The lesson is extreme violence.
Yes,
Solves
that's
all.
exactly
Yes.
right. She's supposed to be this like super compassionate character, and then for some reason she's just like, and then sometimes you have to throw people's faces against a wall and they explode. It's okay. You can do that.
It's okay. In back in the 80s, I used a missile to save 2 Palestinian children. Because sometimes rockets are good.
Sometimes rockets are good in the Middle East. She jumps through the ceiling and throws the bomb into the sky. We've seen that. Robin did it better in Batman Forever, but it's fine. Basically, she lands, fucks this main dude up, because he's taking his time to shoot these people.
He really dwells on reloading, switching from like semi-auto to full auto. Like, he really makes it last way longer than he should after watching a woman stop all of his bullets at the speed of sound.
Yeah,
Maybe you want to move a little faster, buddy.
He is done in by his own hubris here. Maybe that's the lesson, because now she's got the guy dead to rights, quite literally. She's got him. That's it. It's just, that's the end. She could easily just wrench his arm behind his back, and that's the end. Here's what she does. She takes those bracelets, and what we learned is when you smash those bracelets together, they create a bomb, basically, like a massive concussive force.
Yeah.
And she explodes the building. Like, she just she does it in this dude's face. This guy is a skull.
To the point where his hat like floats comically down in front of the police outside as they look on in horror.
Yeah, as literally tons of bricks are coming out as well, because she exploded the fucking building out.
Yeah.
That was an unnecessary use. Like, and she was just like, these kids are the kids are all, one girl's really scared, and she's like, oh, are you scared because of the terrorists? She's like, no, I saw a woman explode a man's face out of the building.
I saw my idol blow a man's face off.
Right?
You're a demon.
Imagine seeing your hero take a shotgun and blast someone in the face.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna have to reevaluate who my heroes are these days.
Although, if you think about it, this is also a statement of feminism, because all the other superheroes get to kill a bunch of people. So, in that regard,
I guarantee you that's what he was going for.
I know. Yeah.
He was just like, no, it's just like she's hanging with the big boys.
She's hanging with
it's
she can kill too. I would want people to, feel like they could,
I don't want broads to watch this movie and think they can't kill.
Yeah, that'd be
Bras can kill.
That would hurt me. That would hurt me if little girls could watch this. But yeah, actually, I think that's probably not far off.
I want the little girls that are watching my fucking NC-17 superhero cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Oh God, what a fucking weirdo. But then she does like a little girl power scene with this little girl that was like, can I be like you someday? She's like, you can be anything you want. For example, if you want to murder many people, you could do that. I've done it just now. So now it cuts to Themyscira. The queen is checking out the mother box, and then it conveniently goes quiet when she shows up. She's just be like, oh, I know this lady. I'm not going to say anything right now. And then one of them's like, hey, maybe it's going back to sleep. And she goes, evil does not sleep. It waits. And it's like, I feel like evil would also sleep.
I feel like evil needs a nap.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be wait. It's just resting sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns back on and a massive beam shoots to the sky. And parademons explode out of it. And then all the Amazons are just watching. And I was like, man, that can't be good. Y'all are warriors. You have kind of like a shoot first and ask questions later situation going on. Now's the time. You got them bottlenecked. Say again, Maggie?
Oh, no. I was just saying, that's true. I think I was going to say something else, but I forgot. Much like the 4-hour movie, I felt my mind slip for a moment.
Look, there's a lot of twists and turns in this labyrinth here.
You're right. And you're doing such a great job of taking us through this, Jeff. I really got to commend you.
Yeah.
It's why I make the middle bucks, baby. Steppenwolf comes out looking like a goddamn Mach 5 razor. He looks like if Grumpy Cat and a bunch of razor blades were morphed together.
Yeah, no, he looks like a cat got swallowed by a microphone.
And we need to talk about
like one of them zoot suit microphones. What do we need to talk about?
Steppenwolf as a character is like the saddest genocide guy. He's so depressing.
He's the mopiest sad boy.
Yeah.
He's such a,
I
and
like it.
feel
I like that he's sad. A lot of bad guys enjoy their cruelty, and it just seems to make him miserable, which I think is funny.
But to be fair, he doesn't not enjoy the cruelty part. He just is also sad. He's sad about his like personal life, not his work.
He got like mad demoted.
He did.
So he is like, he's essentially Dilbert. He's like middle management of Apocalypse, and he's like he got in trouble. And we're gonna find out. But he shows up and he's like, "I will bathe in your fear." And I was like, "That's actually not a bad. It's not a bad line. I would."
Yeah, I'd
drop
do
that line.
I'd whip that out. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but absolutely. I'd tell a little girl you could say that to a bad guy one day.
Yeah. I will bathe in your fear, and then throw his face against the wall.
Yeah. When you grow up, you too can fill people with mortal terror.
So he doesn't look aggressively different from the Whedon version of that. Except he has like this like kind of moving razor blade armor.
Yeah, I assumed it was like Mother Box technology because it seems to like move and reorient.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I wouldn't
It's
have.
got to be something.
I guess that maybe that's me doing the movie's work for it. I don't know.
So
Once
they have
again.
the show him. Amazons show him your fear, and then they all yell, "We have no fear!" And I feel like that. Like, did they practice that? Because that's not a line that you're expecting to respond to.
They
Yeah.
must
They all
have,
just like
yeah. Girls like
at-
cheers. Girls are into cheers. Even our even if they were soldiers, they'd probably still have some cheers in
I
their
guess so,
sleeve.
like at the Amazon slumber party. They're like, okay, so like if a boy tells you he's gonna bathe in your fear, what do you say? I say we have no fear. Now let's do a dance about it.
That's so good.
In fairness, the military in general is a big fan of cheers. So
True. Women and the
show.
men. Yes. Yes.
It's on the USO TV channel all the time. It's just
I
all
want to
episodes
go
of Cheers.
where everybody knows my name.
Oh my God.
No.
it's like Norm, Cliffy, and Steppenwolf sitting at the bar.
Steppenwolf just sitting at the bar and Cheers.
Woody Harrelson serving him some beer.
Yeah. Hey, what's wrong, Step?
My boss is still angry at me.
Yeah, you know, Steppenwolf, whenever I have a problem with my boss, when I do.
Oh my God.
You know the etymology of Mother Box? You know where that comes from? It comes. I don't know.
That's I need it. I'm sure I can guarantee you that we are going to get a fan Photoshop of that, and I appreciate it in advance. In advance, I appreciate sad boy Steppenwolf at Cheers. Now, during the fight that we have, all these Amazons are like climbing this dude, but he's not like mega tall, and I'm just sitting there watching, be like, go hit the face. Go. He doesn't have armor on the face.
Right.
Go
He
for his
doesn't have
face.
any of that pokey shit on his face.
It's like, why did nobody try to shoot RoboCop in the mouth?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I was like, yeah, there's a target that's very visible here. Steppenwolf is covered in knives, and all these Amazons are like jumping on him and shit. I'm like, stab him in the fucking face. You all have arrows, man. Just shoot 1,000 arrows into his eyes. There's no pulling that out. There's no healing from that. God, they fucking, for a bunch of warriors, they sure did just kind of like try to just chop up a fucking armored man.
Yeah.
I'm like, stab him, run your fucking sword. He's slow too.
Right, but then the movie would only be 2 hours instead of 4 hours, so
Oh, the tragedy.
they just really need it. That can't stand.
Amazon,
Now-
stab him in the knife. The knife? Are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure you don't want to get him in one of his thousands and thousands of knives covering his body? I don't know, man. Maybe we should get the Amazons like a bazooka and just shoot him in the fucking face, man. Although, to be fair, we find out later that bazookas don't really work against Steppenwolf.
They sure don't.
True.
Well, he really turns that around on Batman.
He's a real lummox in these fights. He's really slow, and it's almost like I'm watching this. I'm like, man, it's gonna be embarrassing if you get killed by this dude in this fight.
Yeah.
It's like getting caught by Andre the Giant. You're like, oh man, he's not fast. Just be quick. Just be spry.
Yeah.
Just get out of the way.
No, it's when Pedro Pascal gets killed by the mountain in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and
You're like, you got it. And then he grabs him. Oh no.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. Ooh. Yikes. The queen grabs the mother box and then does this weird slow motion, like fucking parkour murder of a parademon.
Oh yeah.
Like she runs up the wall and then drops on him and stabs like it's her special move. And I was like, ma'am, you got to get out of here. Maybe leave that to one of the other Amazons. Like, this is one fucking foot soldier here. So she's running and it's like, seal the cave. And then there is a scene that speaks to me greatly. Where some very beautiful, very brawny ladies are swinging large hammers, and it is very hot.
Yeah.
They're swinging large hammers to collapse the cliff into the ocean, which was badass.
And hot. I would say the whole
and
thing.
hot.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Them deciding to do that is fucking hot. It's like, absolutely.
Yeah, abs is right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, this is for everybody.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
everybody's
yes,
gaze. Just watching a bunch of American gladiators swinging mallets into a fucking tree trunk. I like that a lot. Anyway, the temple, they get crushed, which is not as hot.
That is true.
And then the temple falls into the fucking sea. And then Steppenwolf jumps out, which is going to be very hard, jumping out of the water like that to get a good footing.
Where's he getting the leverage from?
Yeah, you ever try to jump out of a pool?
That's hard.
Yeah, and it's covered in metal. That seems like it'd weigh you down like jeans,
It'd be so funny if over the course of this movie he just gets rustier and rustier because of all the water he's been in.
He just looks like an old razor that was left in a shower at the YMCA.
Yeah, just like little pieces of hair sticking out of him and stuff. There's the horse Meadow chase, which is pretty much the exact same as it was in the Whedon version, so we don't need to spend too much time on it. Except the one thing that they spend a lot of time on is a horse falls on a lady, and
She dies an agonizing death.
She does.
But it's like we don't even see her die an agonizing death. She's just under a horse.
She dies as it cuts away. Like as it ends on.
There's like a helicopter, like drone-y kind of shot as it's like swirling away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Steppenwolf really got he kind of hashed out a pretty strong victory on this one because he's talking mega shit. And then as the cavalry is arriving, he's like later, and then just takes off.
Oh, I better get out of here. Yeah. He's literally talking shit as he's driving away. It's like, okay.
All right.
It's also the kind of talking shit where he's like, yeah, I bet you didn't know I could take that much of a beating, huh?
Right. It's like he didn't actually land much offense. He just got pummeled and walked through it.
Yeah, he's swinging pretty wild, to be honest. And it's something, good for them, I guess. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. I'm happy for him.
So then Hippolyta is like, he's going to the lands of men to find the other two. It's time to light our ancient warning fire. And they're like, it's been 5,000 years. Men don't know what it means. She's like, men won't. She will. And that's the end of No Thanks, Batman.
Bum, 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 bum.
Womp womp.
Or don't count on it, Batman.
Don't count on it,
Don't
Batman.
count
No,
it.
no thanks,
No,
Batman. Is
thank you, Batty.
kind of what we wanted to call it.
I also love that he's like, you know what I'm going to name this chapter? Don't count on it, Batman. And we're like, somebody's got to be there like, Zack, is this your vision?
Listen,
Your vision is don't count on it, Batman?
it is his
Yes.
uncompromising vision.
Yeah, it's his career.
Ex-
Yeah.
Except for when he released that clip of the Joker saying we live in a society and everybody dumped on it, and then he cut it out of
And he cut it. Well,
That wasn't a...
yeah, there was some false
I thought-
advertising. Also with Joker, doing the Jesus pose, and it was like, wait a minute, that
Yeah, that was also
didn't-
dropped.
all right.
I actually thought that might have been a troll on his part, and I actually like it very much.
Maybe. Yeah.
Man, I almost wish
like,
you would have
if-
kept it because that image was so strong that I was waiting the whole movie for it, and then spoiler alerts, but Joker doesn't show up until the end, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, I know we're not going to cover that in here, but
Yeah.
I do want that movie.
The
Like,
Nightmare movie?
That Nightmare
Yeah.
movie.
I wish
I was
I
like,
wanted more of it. It was at
When
the
I-
end, and I was like, I did expect that to be a part of the whole final vision.
when I was watching it, I go, this is the movie I want.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want Justice League. I
We've-
want this.
We
fucking
finally
weird-
arrived at the movie I want to watch at 3
Yeah.
hours and 54 minutes in.
because it's like this. It's like, I don't trust you to do like a regular version of Justice League with your vision because it's not great. But what I do want is for you to go ape shit with just a vague idea of the characters and
Yes.
then see what you can do. That to me would be Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
Not watch
Yeah.
me ruin the characters officially, but more of like a watch me get fucking wild with this.
Yeah,
That's
I've-
exactly what I wanted.
I've talked about this a lot with people over the past week, and I think probably with you, Jeff, at one point on one of these podcasts. But like, part of Zack Snyder's problem, or the problem with his version of the DC movies, is he's such a vocal and avowed fan of Watchmen. Obviously, that was like a passion project of his that he lobbied for a long time and finally got to make it. And he
Not
clearly
particularly terrible either.
no, it's not a bad. I like his
I don't
version
hate
of
it.
Watchmen.
I like it, yeah.
When
and
I
he
loved it when
also-
it first came out.
Yes, yeah, I saw it like 3 or 4 times in the theaters when it came out.
I saw it alone opening night
Yep.
or opening afternoon at the first showing
Yep.
that I could go to, so I wouldn't have to like explain it to anybody I was with.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to have to answer who this is every time someone shows up on camera.
But like, and he clearly really wants to make The Dark Knight Returns, as he puts the tank in at the end, and obviously his version of Batman is essentially Dark Knight Returns Batman. So I think he can only see superheroes through the deconstructionist lens. Mm-hmm. And his version of the DCEU is the deconstructionist version of these characters, but he's trying to make the deconstruction the definitive version of the characters, which I don't think is right. It's like what Jeff is saying. Let him take Nightmare and go ape shit with Nightmare.
Yeah.
But
I
don't
actually
don't
do
have
that.
the definitive
Yeah.
Justice League movie be his vision.
Keep your chocolate out of my peanut butter in this regard, and I will enjoy both.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like I can't have this dude give me what should be the quote definitive version of that because it really doesn't fit. And Warner really backed the wrong horse in that regard, to be honest.
Yeah.
It sounded.
And-
yeah. Sorry, Maggie. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna
But-
say as far as like the batshit thing, like I like the lasting feeling I had after watching this is that I wish it had gone batshit, and I think at the end of the day I was like so disappointed because I kind of think I was expecting that.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we saw a version of this already. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like, well, now it's going to be with 2 extra hours of bad stuff. And you're like, oh, fuck. Okay. So we're starting part 2. We have to start part 2.
All right.
The age of heroes. Now, it starts out where the light shows up in like a Soviet era dead zone, and Steppenwolf's like, oh, I'm gonna make this my base. He goes, it's toxic. That's good. And in my head, I'm like, well, what? But why?
Right, and
Why is that good?
okay, so I saw this, I did watch this with a couple of people, and when he's saying it's toxic, we see, a big smokestack, and so you'd think, oh, Chernobyl, but apparently those type of smokestacks were not in Chernobyl, so...
No, it's fake Chernobyl. It's like, it's supposed to, like, evoke Chernobyl, but be a non-specific place. I think the idea of him being so excited that it's toxic is that nobody's going to come looking for him there.
Right.
But my funny part to that is like, what are you afraid of, man?
He's hiding. He spends most of the movie hiding.
Yeah, he actually
It's
does
like a
explain
major
that
part of
later.
the plot is that they're fucking hiding.
So which is an interesting like flaw in your badass character.
Right,
That he's
exactly.
just like-
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, he actually says to Desaad later, we're gonna right about now. So he puts the mother box in, and then shit start getting weird, and then he sends the parademons out to find the others, and he goes, "He will be pleased. He will see my worth again." And then we're going to talk about his phone call.
Is this where I was about to say, is this where he pages Desaad, or like he tries to call Darkseid and Desaad answers? Like, God damn it!
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. So it cuts to Bruce shaving, and he's asking about Barry Allen, about the Flash. And Alfred is like, "Hey, man, you need to relax." And he goes, "I spent a lot of time trying to divide us. I need to unify us to make it right." I'm like, you spent like a month.
It was a lot of time.
I
For
mean,
him, that's a lot of time.
How much time?
On a single
You spent 20 years being Batman.
No.
It's just so funny how much he takes the Superman thing to heart when he actually was on friendly terms with this dude for like 9 minutes.
Right. They worked together for less time than an episode of a sitcom.
Yeah.
And he's like, I owe it to him. He's my best friend. And it's like, I don't think you guys actually have the same thing.
No.
I don't think you guys view this
No.
the same way.
I'm not sure he even knew what your name was, Bruce.
So now it cuts to Star Labs, and Silas Stone. I forget his last name. Silas Stone, Cyborg's dad, is leaving at 11:30 p.m. because he is all work. And he's talking with the custodian, who then finds the busted lab, sees the parademon holding the empty box. We hear the scream.
Real
Standard.
quick. Yeah, it's a standard horror movie beat. Real quick, this is another glaring moment in the movie where it's just like, oh, I know it's your vision, Zack, but please just cut something out. We see Silas leaving the lab late at night, and then he stops to talk to the janitor, and he's like, oh, and the janitor's like, oh, leaving late, huh? And he's like, yep, you know it. And he's like, all right, well, good night. And then Silas leaves, and then it cuts to a different establishing shot of the janitor. It's like, we already established he's there and who this character is. Why are we establishing this character twice? Anyway, this movie is full of moments like that where it's just like, cut something out, man.
Tom, it's because he's doubly important.
That's true.
So in Themyscira, they do the whole like lighting the flame with the arrow of Artemis thing. That fucker flies all the way to Greece.
The arrow is also way bigger than I was expecting.
That arrow is the fucking thing they used to take out Smaug in the Hobbit movie.
Yes.
Like, it is a harpoon. It is not an arrow.
It's a fucking dragon lance. What is that?
Yeah. It is angry, and she shoots that shit all the way. And I was like, man, that's a good shot because you're sending that thing miles.
Right. That would have been great if it like punched through an airplane. It's like,
It just shreds through it on the way.
And it doesn't stop to dwell on it at all. It just shreds through a commercial airliner on its flight to the mainland.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Zack,
Children
no, that's
start
part. Let them
flying
fill
out
that
of
in.
the hole in the airplane.
Fucking nobody saves it because heroes don't exist anymore.
Right, because the Justice League are all bullies in this movie.
Yeah.
Later on, Aquaman starts complaining. He's like, "You guys litter. Just recently, you guys littered a plane into the fucking Adriatic Sea." And it's like, I don't think you know what happened.
It just cuts to an angry Aquaman dragging the wreckage onto land and just leaving it there because just like, throw away your own trash. Bodies hanging out of the fuselage.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Okay, so now it cuts to Diana, who works at the Louvre.
Yeah,
because that's a famous museum.
Yeah, Yeah, she works there. She's a smart girl. You think she wouldn't be smart, huh?
She's got the old Dana Barrett job from Ghostbusters 2.
Hell yeah.
Where she retouches art.
She's given a marble statue a glow up.
And let me tell you, the temple of the Amazons in Greece being on fire is global news. And everybody is losing their minds about this arson at the shrine of the Amazons. And then Diana's like, wait, everybody shut up. What's going on? And everyone's like, you're an Amazon, right? Because why would you care?
Yeah, right. You would.
You've worked here for 28 years and haven't aged. I don't.
Yeah, I think you're answering your own questions here, Diana.
Yeah, people got to start asking questions about that shit, man. People will be like, we have this photo of you from 1984 from the TV that you were on.
We've been gradually increasing the resistance on the door that leads in here, and it's now like 100 pounds of opposing force. And you're still just opening it like it's nothing.
That's so fucking funny. that they just don't tell her that the door she uses has like a 250-pound fucking test that she has to
She's just whipping it open each morning, like holding a coffee cup in one hand.
Oh my god.
And they're like videotaping it in the corner.
We saw you tear the door off an Uber last week and we didn't say anything.
Yeah, rude.
There's an office pool to try to guess what kind of cryptid you turn out to be.
Oh my god.
Just the idea that they've been gradually turning up the strength. The resistance.
Just increasing the strength on the door.
And she never notices. That's so goddamn funny. Okay. So then we see we're at Star Labs and we're introduced to Ryan Choi. Ryan is one of the versions of the Atom. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hey.
So that's a little thing that we kind of sneak into you. He's like, this was going to be the Atom in my 8th movie I was going to make.
And they would have all been just buck fucking wild versions of these characters.
Look at how the Atom shrinks into people and then he expands fully and explodes them out like a Mortal Kombat fatality. Basically, there's like some fucking cops that are like, so what got stolen here? He's like, I don't know. You know, it's alien technology. We were studying it. He's like, hey, tell me more. And it's like a beat cop that's like giving the fucking Star Labs and the Department of Defense like a hard time about missing tech.
He knows
and he's like,
place.
hey man,
he knows.
Yeah,
you can push him a little bit.
Yeah, hey, Officer Darby O'Gill. Here's the deal here. This is above your pay grade.
Yeah, people have been killed for asking what's in this box.
Yeah, grand theft alien technology is not going to work. He's like, dude, we advised the Department of Defense on fucking xenoscience, which is alien technology. Take the Superman ship, for example, and he points it out to him, and I'm like, I don't know if you should trust this cop. He seems pretty pushy.
Yeah.
And they find out that 8 people never signed out of work. They were abducted. The witness gave an ID sketch, and surprise, it looks like Batman.
And it was in the Whedon version too, but that sketch is one of the funniest fucking images.
Yes.
It's 100% that sketch that Mulder holds up in that first season episode of the X-Files. It's supposed to be a drawing of the Jersey Devil, and it's just like this fucking third grader's drawing of a cave lady. It's
Did you
like
ever see that
stupidest drawing?
You've seen the Leprechaun on the news video, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
It's like that sketch.
Yes.
And he like slams it into the window. It's so confident. It really like takes you for a moment, you know?
So yeah, the guy's really intense about showing the picture. Look what I drew. And we're gonna put that on the fridge because Tom did a good job drawing that, didn't you?
Good job, Tom.
Let's go take your book it form to Pizza Hut.
So Silas comes home to Ray, and he's like, "Hey, the box is probably not safe in our apartment closet." The it's so funny that it's there.
It's just sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out like it's a fucking. It's a GameCube.
He just walked out of
GameCube.
Star Labs with it in his duffel bag too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we gotta up the security at Star Labs because
Fucking walking
like-
off with a doomsday engine from the other end of the galaxy.
Oh my god.
It should
Silas is
it
like-
should be harder to steal that than batteries.
yeah, right. It's under an old sweater. That's probably not the best coverage. Is that like a radiation? Is that a lead sweater? Is that gonna?
It's
Yeah.
an old sweater. It's old. People don't like old things.
He's like, monsters are after this thing. And he's like, you know a lot about monsters, wouldn't you? Especially how to make them, Dad. And it's like, hey man, you're alive. You're alive, man.
Right.
I don't know what you want from me.
You're alive and you're fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It's like,
What's the problem?
I got to be honest though. He's like, I don't got a dick.
Yeah.
problem.
Well. Yeah.
Although in Doom Patrol he has a dick, so
Yeah.
he maybe that's what he's upset about. He's like, why couldn't you make me with a sweet, sweet dick? You made me a
Sweet,
monster.
sweet
Like that's all.
What if
That's
he,
all
maybe,
he means
maybe it's
about
in
being
there.
a
Maybe it's just
monster.
retracted. I don't know. He hasn't found the right button to push to unsheath it.
Yeah, right.
It's a,
That's what the Cyborg movie was going to be about.
Yeah,
was
it's
him like
all about
learning
his
how
dick.
to work his.
Honestly, I actually would. I mean, I would watch a movie about that.
yes.
Cyborg,
I
the
would.
quest for Hog.
Yeah.
That's
If
the
you want one,
entire
you should get
film.
one.
Okay, now it cuts to the police being really bad at the shrine of the Amazons, to the point that Diana in heels just like walks in,
Takes
takes
there,
the arrow,
takes the arrow and leaves.
Then no, she fucking leaps down into the like,
Right,
the fucking
and her heels
the-
don't break.
Yeah.
she drops into it's like a Zelda labyrinth that she goes down into.
Yeah.
Very video.
And,
Yeah. Laura Croft vibes all over the place.
Oh, right. And she's like exploring the cave, immediately finds the arrow hole for the arrow, opens the door. This is like a very video game situation. It's like
Yeah.
King's Quest.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I found an arrow.
It's
Put
like
arrow in wall.
it's Zack Snyder paying attention for the film class where they tell you to show and not tell. So he's like, well, how do we show people all of this backstory? I know she just takes the arrow to a mysterious dungeon that just has the story drawn on the walls.
Yeah. If it's drawn, then
Oh.
it is visual. You know. Instead of-
Correct.
Correct.
The mural in the
You are
The mural-
technically correct.
the best kind
The
of
best
correct.
kind of correct. That's right.
So there's the mural in the chamber that shows the big battle, the 3 mother boxes, and then there's just like a big ass dark side painting in like the center. And I was like, you guys made him the middle? It seems like you kind of beat his ass pretty bad.
And it just says dark side, but in like the
Yeah.
Cyrillic alphabet. It says like something dark side. It's just spelled out. Like, okay,
at the
so
title
the
of-
Greek's name for dark side was
Yeah,
dark
wait a
side.
Also, I think you name quoted the fucking Family Guy Return of the Jedi episode.
Oh yeah.
I think it's something dark side.
Of
Oh my god.
course I
So Aquaman cuts to him saving some fucking dude on a boat that's in a storm, which, by the way, fully unnecessary to show the boat crashing. He could have
did.
just
Right, the boat sinks for like a minute.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, Jesus
And then-
Christ, man. You could have just cut to him walking in with the guy on his shoulder, setting him down and saying, don't go out into storms anymore, and then grabbing a bottle of whiskey and saying it's on him. That is all
That'd
we
be
need
fun.
to see.
That'd be fun and tight and
Yeah.
zippy and snappy.
Yeah.
put him
Yeah.
put him in fisherman gear. We would have dress him up like the goddamn Norwegian Gorton's fisherman, and we would have
That would've
We
been
know
fun.
out.
exactly what happened. That's all we need to
Yeah.
see.
Tell him to not take his boat out and then have it almost sink, and then I save him. It's like, wow, you guys are really putting a hat on this situation. And then, Ewok goes back to his favorite pub, apparently the pub, drops his ass on a table and goes, whiskey. Tell him to respect the storm next time. Takes the bottle, goes, it's on him. And then he goes out to the Jesus-y song. I forget what it is, but it's not Icky Thump.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely not. It's all of the pop songs he selected for this film are like older, which was interesting.
Yeah, no, he sucks at music.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Because,
he's dad vibes in his musical.
He does have
choices.
extreme dad vibes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There should have been something, but the absolute audacity of like playing this, like, because it's like a badass scene where fucking Aquaman is cool, and I think we're supposed like Aquaman's kind of the punk rock guy of this whole team, and we're getting it might as well be Hallelujah. Like
that comes
Icky
later.
Thump, Icky Thump
Yeah,
was great as a choice of that song. I think it was Icky Thump, right?
I believe so. I haven't seen Justice League too often.
No, but like that was like a better choice of a song to use in that scene.
Yeah,
Like he was just like, I'm gonna make this worse. And he's engulfed by the wave, and then he swims away like a cute little fish.
it is very funny.
Yeah, it's cute.
The fact that he felt like he needed to like really think about the physics of the Atlanteans is unspeakably funny to me.
And like take it so seriously.
Because
and then
if James Wan's Aquaman proved anything, it's that none of us give a shit. Like I don't need to know how they can speak to each other. I don't care. Just show me this fucking undersea kingdom of magic, you asshole.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we do not care.
Trust
They
me.
can
We don't.
they can fly without wings. We don't care.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So he shows up to the statue of the Atlantean king, and he's like eyeing up the trident, and then Willem Dafoe shows up, and I was like, oh hell yeah.
Willem Dafoe with like fucking Motley Crue roadie hair.
It's
Oh my
amazing.
god. I tell you, it's like his character from The Lighthouse just let it go.
Yeah, like you just stayed on set and walked over to film the.
Because also,
I'm here to
like,
tell you about me lobster.
in Aquaman, Willem Dafoe was like the Obi-Wan, and he was very like patient and kind and like cool about it. And he's like kind of like a fed up asshole in this.
They're like him and Mara are so different in this movie. It's very
Dude, everybody in this movie is a fed up asshole except Flash.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, you keep coming back here. This is your birthright. And he's like, you guys are a petty and superstitious race. Is the surface any different? He's like, well, nobody's calling me the king of the surface, so I'm not going to address it that way. You fucking jerk. What do you want from me?
You jerk.
I also like that this is where Aquaman sleeps.
Go. Protect the box. Take your mother's trident. And he does not.
No, he doesn't.
He lets it
Because
drop.
Willem Dafoe has to give him that in the Aquaman.
Now, Steppenwolf is on the phone with Desaad, who sucks.
Yes. Yes.
And I can't stress to you how much of like the Desaad is basically like a really rude receptionist.
Yeah, he's like Darkseid's very abrasive personal assistant.
And he's like, I'll get it. This world is divided. He's like, well, have you found the box? He's like, well, I got one. And then that's the one that woke up, and then it called to me. And the parademons are looking for the other two. And he's like, so you're just hanging out in an old abandoned fucking nuclear facility while a bunch of demons are flying around this planet? He's like, that's right.
Yep,
Yep, I'm building a stronghold.
Sounds like you're up to speed.
And Desaad talks mega shit.
Right, to the point where like it's like Steppenwolf's almost like uncomfortably looking around at the other parademons. Like he's like, not in front of the demons, Desaad. You can't undermine me like that.
Dude, he pushes his dick in the dirt so bad.
Yeah.
That's all that happens to Steppenwolf in this
is.
movie is he gets his dick shoved in the dirt for 4 hours and then he gets his head cut off.
Yeah, it's like the fact that he doesn't cry in this is upsetting to me because I would cry.
Oh my god.
On this phone call, I would be bawling.
Yeah.
Because I like Steppenwolf has clearly been suffering. You know, he's gonna
for
there's
like
gonna be an
millennia.
Article. If there hasn't been an article yet, there is going to be an article about the mental health of Steppenwolf.
We had
I can guarantee it.
A buddy of mine on Collider wrote specifically about how Steppenwolf is very clearly just a middle management doofus in this movie.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
He's like he's like the Dilbert of this fucking planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's like decides he's like, oh, you're an asshole. You're undone by your self-pride. And Steppenwolf's like, I've made it up to him. Please let me talk to him. And he's like, absolutely not. You still owe him 50,000 more worlds. And he's like, look, there's no protectors here, no lanterns, no Kryptonian. It's like, were they talking about Superman for the past 25 years? Like, Darkseid is dishing. He's engaging in some hot goss about what's going on Earth. He doesn't know that all his shit is on there. But apparently the fact that a Kryptonian is there makes the waves.
Right. He forgets that this is where he left the anti-life equation and all 3 mother boxes, but he's been fucking just nanny camming Superman for the past 3 decades.
Yes.
Shit, is that where I left it? Damn.
Damn. It seems like I should. Well, I'm not going there now. They got a dog on the porch. Yeah. It's like one of those.
You told me to keep my eyes glued. That's what
There's
I'm
a
doing.
brink sign in the yard.
Yeah.
I'm not going in there.
Yeah, Superman was the dog from the Sandlot to Darkseid. We're not going back there. Also, Steppenwolf is like, "There's no lanterns," and I'm like, "No, don't worry. The lanterns are not a problem.
Don't worry.
We're gonna find out."
That one
Don't
glorious lantern that flies too close to the sun in the flashback scene.
Okay, all right. This is very good. This world will fall like all the others. So Wonder Woman like sneaks up on Bruce as he's fixing the plane, and he's like, I pay millions of dollars for security here. And she's like, you got your money's worth. Took me almost a minute to disable it. And I'm like, why is she the Batman of this interaction?
She's old, man. I guess she's
But,
just been tinkering with bullshit for the past 80 years.
But like, they made her Batman.
Yeah.
That's what Batman is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Batman is supposed to show up and be like, oh, this was our security. He's like, and I got right past it because I'm fucking Batman. And I'm the only person that does that in the Justice League. I'm not phasing through walls and shit. I'm just Batman.
Right.
That's what I do. So then they
I
give
feel like
Wonder
Diana
Woman...
would show up holding the door in her hand.
Yeah.
Here you go. I found I let myself in.
And
well,
so
much
now...
of the Flash is not the fastest because they're too fast like him. They all kind of seem to they share and trade each other's powers when convenient.
Yeah. Whenever he needs them to.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's already flashed and now she's Batman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. And she's like, what is this? And he's like, it's a prototype troop carrier. And I'm like, what are you making toys?
You making shit goes, for Eric Prince?
She looks and she goes, I knew a man that would have loved to fly it. And it's like, geez, lady, you got to let it go.
I know. I really thought that they were going to cut out all mentions of said dead boyfriend, but, they had to keep in at least this one.
Yeah. There needs to be a part where Bruce looks at her and he goes, oh, really? Oh, tell me about it. I haven't heard.
Yeah. Oh, tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more. You've never mentioned it. So this is huge. You fucking, of course. Yeah, I know. You had a guy 100 years ago that flew biplanes. This is a fucking.
She's the Martian Manhunter of this group. She just keeps talking about Steve Trevor all the time.
Yeah, that's her taking John Jones's abilities to bum out an entire room. And he's like, well, it needs more range and more cargo. He's like, get what I'm saying there? We still need a team. And basically Diana gives him the lowdown on Darkseid's attack, and we have the ancient battle scene that Tom, you have crafted an expert article on Collider about this scene.
Oh yeah.
So Darkseid I'm going to give the gist. I'm going to give basically the gist is Darkseid was met in battle by Earth's defenders. The old gods, the men, Atlanteans, and the Amazons before their betrayal and enslavement, which she added that, and I was like, I'm unclear about this.
Oh, I can tell you what that means.
Oh, go on.
The idea, Patty Jenkins recently talked about this, but the idea that Snyder and I think Jeff Johns had for the Wonder Woman movie was that was going to be part of like the Amazon story, was that they had been like basically sex slaves, like they'd been like raped for centuries. And she was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Why would we do that?
Girls are going to be watching this first Wonder Woman movie. How about they don't do that?
Why
did
would
they
we
discuss
do that?
Did they discuss that at like on 4chan? Like,
I don't know.
Is that where they came up with the idea? Were they at the skate park coming up with this plan?
They were just guys hanging out being bros and thought of this fun backstory that they were all right.
Yeah. They toasted with Arizona coolers.
Hell yeah.
99-cent cans.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's like, oh, there was this history. There was never an alliance. We always fought apart. And then so it shows Darkseid showing up, and he just jumps down and he does the superhero landing. And I was just like, are we still doing this? Okay.
Oh yeah.
He then beats up the Earth.
Yeah.
He punches. He beats the Earth with his staff, and then it turns into like a lava pattern,
which is supposed to be anti-life.
Yes, he punched the anti-life equation onto the Earth.
Yeah, into the ground.
Look, it's all great. So, the mother boxes are there, and they have to synchronize into the Unity, and that turns the planet into the enemy's world. I think the mother boxes are basically just turn shit into Apocalypse, which is Darkseid's planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems to be. That was the gist I caught.
Yeah, which is awesome. And he's like, basically anybody who lives on that planet becomes servants of Darkseid as parademons, alive but drained of life. I'm like, fine.
Okay, what does that mean?
That's fine.
So it shows all the it shows the armies, and there's the armies of men. There's the Atlanteans wearing, the king is wearing the classic Aquaman armor with the trident. The Amazons, and then there's the gods, and then Zeus, who I don't know who the actor is, but it's Carl Urban. It's not Carl Urban, but it's Carl Urban.
Right. It's like fake Carl Urban, Gerard Butler from 300.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he is Raiden.
Yeah.
From Mortal Kombat,
yeah.
but as Zeus, as a hot dude. Then Ares is there, and we're gonna find out. And Tom.
Okay. It's fucking yoked David Thewlis making another appearance.
So if you guys don't know who that is, it's Professor Lupin from
Lupin from Harry Potter. He plays Ares in Wonder Woman. So and he transforms into yoked David Thewlis in the end of that movie. So they brought him back for this one, and you can tell right away something's up when Ares hands his axe to Zeus to hold as he's putting his helmet on.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, this is
all right.
Gonna happen here.
Right.
This guy ain't fucking around. Also, it's fun to note that the Green Lantern is hanging out with the gods instead of anybody else.
When he pops
like
up.
he's just like, I'm just gonna hang out here. I'm gonna hang out with these guys. These guys seem like this seems like the safest place for me to be in.
I feel like
Spoiler alert.
I feel like this is the A-team.
Yeah.
That Green Lantern
Which guy
gets absolutely smoked.
The Green Lantern's looking at it, he's like, okay, well, those guys are all on ships. These people, they all have armor. These guys are shirtless with electricity coming out of their bodies. I'm gonna go there. They seem to be pretty amped.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun here. Okay. It's very smart on the Green Lantern's part, because he will make up for that in stupidity in a second. Before the Unity could synchronize, the Earth people decided that they were going to work together. I guess Earthlings would be the technical phrase, but I feel like a cartoon alien if I call them that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I will say this, that in this scene, Zeus doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's like Thor in a Marvel movie when an army's coming, and he's like, well, what if I electrocute half the army? And they're like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Could you do that?
Yeah,
Could you do that?
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for helping us out.
As he is frying parademons, she's just like, a golden age of heroes. And I was like, well, maybe just the one guy. It's a golden age for that one dude who's clearly, he's like,
Zeus
he's
is
shocking
killing
the
it.
shit out of it. Yeah. There's a reason we're still talking about that motherfucker. So now there's a scene where Green Lantern sprays a little bit of ring onto Darkseid.
Yeah, I don't
And then
know how
gets-
he thought this was going to end.
And then gets absolutely bodied. Darkseid fucking chops his arm off and then does a fucking front kick that takes the absolute Christ out of the Green Lantern. And he's right about, and like the ring takes off and it's about to fly, and like Darkseid almost grabs the ring, and I'm like, well, that could have been interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darkseid with the Green Lantern ring could have been a real thing.
Yeah,
'Cause I
was like
Oh, man.
shouting at the little ring. I was like, you need to move faster. I don't know what you're like teasing Darkseid for. Get the fuck away from there.
Yeah, come on, Tink, fly away.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not for you. So fucking, he's about to grab it before eating an arrow to the chest. So then we have the scene where fucking Zeus starts shocking him, and Ares is like, I'm gonna go for it.
I'm gonna go for it.
I'm gonna be a fucking legend.
And boy is he, because Ares fucking chops through his staff and just cleaves Darkseid's fucking trap muscle. He goes right through his fucking collarbone.
Yeah.
He is like, I don't know where where Apocalyptian hearts are, but he had to at least graze it.
Right. He cuts him like a third of the way in half.
He's nearly bisected.
Right. Like that's a hell of a hit.
And I will say this, for the God of War, he kind of blows it, because he's just like, oh, I won? Is that it? We just won? And that's not how you win. That's also how I lost my fight in the Golden Globes. I drilled the dude so hard and he was stunned. And I was like, are you going to stop this fight? And the guy's like, keep going. And I was like, all right. And by the time I like went back to go in, like the guy was recovered. But like, I don't know, man. You got to go in for the kill, Ares. Should have aimed for the head.
Yeah, you'd think he would know that. That's a great point. You know?
Darkseid passes the fuck out after getting
Like
dragged
really
back by
painful. Like
parademons.
he's like reaching for the ceiling of his spaceship too. It's like a real like embarrassing, drawn out passing out.
He's like a woman fainting in a movie from
Right.
the
It
30s.
is extremely undignified.
This is our introduction to the big bad.
This
is
is
him
the-
getting absolutely
the
wasted.
first scene he's ever been in a movie. And they're like, this is the guy you're supposed to be scared of. I'm like, he kind of got his ass kicked.
That guy that died in a movie 4 years ago. Fucking wrecked your life. He beat him so bad.
Yeah. Really, just instantly, too. Just beat the brakes off him.
This is the shit that the parademons talk about in the locker room
Yeah.
when they get home and then Darkseid's not there. Hey, do you remember, like, a long time ago, but remember when Darkseid got cleaved in half by that giant librarian? And everyone's going to be like, yeah, man, that's all I remember. It's the only thing I remember.
Especially from that fight. That is the only thing I remember.
Yeah,
right?
That's the reason Steppenwolf's in trouble. Is like he like shared a video of that on Twitter or something.
Oh my god.
Also, there's a great scene where the king of Atlantis is literally just putting his trident into the ground and just ruins everyone around him.
Yeah. It's
No, I hit
very
him- this-
silly.
And this is when Atlantis is still in land. And I was like, wow, I don't understand the need for the trident. You guys have a lot of like nautical themed existences here for people that live not in the sea.
Right. For a cataclysm that's supposed to befall your society. Anyway.
Yeah. So then Zeus is still doing Raiden shit, just shooting electricity. And in this whole thing, and like the ship is taking off. I'm like, you guys need to get that ship down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew what to do. You as Jeff,
Like-
watching, clearly knew what to do.
Like, if I'm there, say I'm Zeus, say I'm a god that can shoot electricity, and the guy that we're about to kill is taking off, I would make electricity in the sky, which they do. That's a thing that happens. I've seen it countless times. I've seen it at least 5 times in my life. I've seen electricity in the air.
Yeah. The sky
loud-
bolts, we call them.
Yeah. Classic. I was like, take it out, man. Like, you've got him on the run, and you're letting him leave. What is this, professional wrestling?
Yeah.
There's
You
no
got a
script to
limited
this.
number of lightning bolts, Zeus? Just fucking throw one. What are you doing? You saving these?
Yeah, do you pay by the bolt? Like, what's your deal?
Yeah.
I don't want to, it would seem unfair. You are Zeus. Everything you do is unfair.
True.
So then the boxes never synchronized. They were left behind on Earth. Dogs without masters, she says to Bruce. I'm also imagining Bruce hearing this story, just being like, all right. I'm not picturing what you're picturing, but
Having to piece all of that together as she's explaining it to him.
she's like, and the Green Lantern, he got his arm cut off. He wasn't very useful.
Bruce is
She's like
God,
explaining that to Bruce.
8 minutes ago I was just building an airplane, and now we're talking about Zeus.
Yeah, to think.
Fine. It would have been so great if Jesus was in that scene.
Just like in the background, kind of like midfield. Still, that's Jesus.
Like how they,
He's
when they
resurrecting
snuck
his
Howard-
cross
when
way
they
in the
s-
background.
yeah, when they snuck Howard the Duck in Endgame,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just putting like they should have put like all these like other god, like fucking Ganesha and shit, like all these like different gods, because they really only stuck with the Greek gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man. The Romans are like 80 miles away. Like, give them a call, at least.
Yeah, they got a couple of gods.
Yeah, I bet Mars would do great. Put Mars and Ares together.
He would have been great, yeah.
That would have been It would have been so fantastic. Let's see what the fucking Indian gods. Are you kidding me? Like, imagine having some Hindu gods out there. Hanuman is a monkey that is Superman. That is
That's
a
pretty
real
chill.
Hindu
Wow.
god.
Yeah.
Think about the damage he would do in this fight.
They really limited themselves.
They really did. Yeah, they only two of the
what
gods showed
happens.
up. Yeah.
How badass to see like fucking Kali cutting motherfuckers' heads off. It would have ruled, man.
Yeah. No, I the last thing this movie needs is more scenes, but that one, please.
But
I gotta be honest. It's a bit Western Hemisphere centric. It's all I'm saying.
It is. It is very Western centric.
Fair.
So then she goes, they left anonymous among a trillion worlds, and I was like, I feel like Darkseid would have remembered this place.
But he doesn't.
This is his one.
Totally.
This is his Waterloo.
forgets where he left Anti-Life and the mother boxes.
And
That's how
and I
hard
can't
he
stre-
got hit.
And I can't stress this enough. The one place you lost.
Yeah, that's
You don't
it's the only
forget
time
that.
you lost, man. Like,
Yeah.
you remember
Like,
that one.
Like, hold a grudge, man. Christ.
Get
so then
angry, please.
The men, the Atlanteans, and the Amazons all would guard that shit. And in my head, I'm like, you should have given some of them to the gods. You should have given one of those to the gods. Give it to Zeus.
Good point.
Yeah.
It was important enough that they really should have outsourced. You know.
Maybe the men don't get one.
Right, yeah, because
Yeah.
they literally show those motherfuckers just throwing it in like a 3-foot hole in the ground.
4-foot hole in the ground.
It's like, yeah, this is fine.
It's like, I don't know if you guys were here, but this thing was going to destroy the planet. And they're like, we'll take care of it. It's like they're burying a turd. You got to bury this mother box deep or else the bears will come. The Amazons have it on some like spinny thing that's like receiving direct sunlight.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I don't know if I would treat it like a window crystal, but okay. It's like a prism. My grandmother used to do that. She used to hang prisms in her windows so it would like shoot fucking rainbows
just
all over the
blind
place.
you at 4:00 every afternoon.
Yeah, they were doing that. The Amazons were doing that. Mankind just burying that shit so hilarious.
It's the most mankind thing that you could think of.
Yeah.
Like, what would humans do? Something dumb like this.
and then the Atlanteans just put theirs in their fucking little temple that's gonna fall. And she goes, but something woke up the box of the Amazons. And Bruce is like, well, that's why we need a team. And it's like, we know you need a team. You don't need to keep saying that.
Yeah.
This is the second thing you've said in this conversation is about how we need a team. The first thing you said was you need to fix the ship for your team.
Yeah. I need to fix my team mobile.
Yeah. I don't think Bruce is listening so much as waiting for his turn to discuss the team.
I mean, I'm sure he shut off as soon as she got to like Zeus. He's like, all right, I probably don't need to like get 100% of this.
Yeah, so this is more of a tale than an actual historical event. And Maggie and Tom, that's a sewed.
Oh man, is that the end of part 2? Oh.
We have wrapped part 3, which we will cover next week. Beloved Mother, Beloved Son.
Yes.
We will pick up where we went. Maggie Mae Fish, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Scott. This really flew by.
Did you have
as
any?
Opposed to the movie,
Yeah.
which.
Yeah, which, man, by like hour 3, fatigue was really setting in for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to watch in installments. I could not watch the whole thing at a time in one shit. I was like, no. My roommate came home and she's like, "Are you still watching this?" I'm like, "There's a lot going on here. Like, I can't.
Listen.
I can't take all." It's like it's like an eating contest for movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could eat a whole pizza over the course of 2 hours. I can't eat a whole pizza in 4 minutes. Like this, I can't take this whole movie at once.
Yeah, indeed,
Yeah.
no one should.
Maggie, any thoughts on the film as a whole? I know we only got the first 2 chapters with you.
Yeah.
But anything
Just
you want to
overall, our
discuss?
final thoughts.
Yeah,
'cause-
I mean, man, yeah, I guess I almost just wish Zack felt like he could have just done anything, like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I was expecting some more wild moments. Although I did cheer out of my seat at 2 separate moments, and I laughed, throughout the movie.
I would like to hear the 2 moments in which you cheered out of your seat.
You know what? One of them was when Batman said, what was it? I'm going to fucking kill you. I stood up and cheered.
And I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, that's pretty great. And I honestly think the second time was at chapter 3, what the title.
Beloved mother, beloved son.
Yeah,
Beloved son.
yeah, those 2 moments really made it for me. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what?
Well, hell
it
yeah.
happened, and now the world has it. So there we go.
Yep. Now it belongs to history.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was probably going to say, we were going to say, what do you want to plug? Where can we find you? What do you want to tell people?
Oh man, yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter and on YouTube, just at my name. And yeah, that's it.
Which is Maggie Mae Fish,
It is.
MaggieMaeFish.
Yes, yeah. Come find me. I have some fun videos coming out this month. But yeah, it was fun chatting with you guys, and I honestly, the recap was great because I did find my memory slipping of, of what the first 2 chapters were even about.
You definitely got to a couple of moments where I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I wiped that from my memory. And it is very funny that at the end of chapter 2, they once again were like, it'd be great if we were a team.
Yeah. It's like Bruce keeps going, I can't stress this enough. I sure would like a team. Definitely, check Maggie out. Definitely find all of her videos. They are fantastic.
100%.
And really, really great. You're a goddamn delight, Maggie, and we're so excited to have gotten you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I
Absolutely.
love chatting with you guys. Anytime you guys want to talk about Batman, I'll come around. So
We will
new host.
probably hit you up in the future. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing this for a while.
forever.
Yeah. Tom, what about you, buddy?
What's up?
What do you got going on, buddy?
Oh, well, geez. If you guys want to head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefleetunemployed, because this is a free episode, right?
It sure is.
Oh, man. So if you want to hear we're breaking this up into parts. If you want to hear the rest of the parts, you should head over there and become a patron. For just $5 a month, you get this podcast plus Fox Mulder is a Maniac, as well as other tiers and cool exclusive junk that patrons get to do. So check that out, please.
I definitely do that.
Yeah.
Check out your stuff on Collider.
Yes, do that as well.
You can check out. I almost reflexively said the show that doesn't exist anymore. You can check out, of course, me on Tom and Jeff Watch Batman on the Gamefully Unemployed Patreon, which if you are listening to on that, thank you. If you're listening to the free episode, you fucking freeloader, get over there. We do a weekly show and it's fucking fantastic. We have like 150 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Backlogs
It's a lot.
covering a lot of stuff. We covered a lot of the animated stuff. It's fucking great. You're going to really like it. You can also check out You Don't Even Like Sports, a sports podcast for people who don't like sports on the Unpopular Opinion Network with Adam Todd Brown, as well as me being a co-host on Unpops. And, of course, I just announced this week that I will be bringing the spirit of my former show, Sideshow, under a new name called Jeff Has Cool Friends. And that is going to be at patreon.com/JeffMay, JEFFMAY. Just announced. I've already got about 100 people signed up, so I'm very excited about that. So thank you all. Check those out. Lots of fun stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Can we be done?
Yes, let's be
finish.
done.
Let's finish.
Oh, man. Hi, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Maggie, thanks again.
Thanks again, guys. What a team.
You're a team. We need a team. We need a team.
You know, I paid millions of dollars for this building's security.
You got your money's worth. Took me almost a minute to disable it.
Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.